What better way to start the long weekend but have a wine drinking segment on a Friday? We're joined by Linda Coles from the Saheli Liquor Store. Great to see you again.
Hi, great to see you.
And you. And then we also have two of the ladies joining us from Harper's Trail. We all know about Harper's Trail doing a wonderful job. Sitting next to me, we have Bobby, Vicky on the end. Great to have you guys here as well.
Thank you. Nice to see you again.
Yes, so you've got some really great new information about what's going on at Harper's Trail. I understand you've got a whole bunch of new wines, which we're going to get to. But I also understand you're opening up a wine tasting room.
We're hoping to. We're hoping our wine tasting room, we're counting down the days, but a couple weeks away, so people could actually come out to the vineyard and taste some wine and enjoy the vineyard and all the sights out there. So we're really excited about that.
How are things going out there? You guys have been in operation for how long now, and where have you come from since we had you on the show last year?
Well, last year was the inaugural release for Harper's Trail, and they planted the vineyard in '08, and since then all the vines have been maturing, and now last year they had 3 releases, 3 different wines last year, and this year we have 8 wines now, with another one coming in the fall. Our first red will be this fall, so that's really exciting. So I would say that's steaming ahead at a pretty fast pace, to be honest.
Which is fantastic. So people will be welcome to come down and check things out with that wine tasting room. They can now anyways, I'm sure, but the wine tasting room will make it that much more fun.
Absolutely, absolutely. So they could take a little tour, they can walk through the vineyard. It would be a great place to bring guests from out of town. It's just a really nice place to go that's just 15 minutes outside of Kamloops, where people can just relax and take part in something that Kamloops hasn't yet been able to offer. So.
Excellent. Let's talk a little bit about some of the wines that we're looking at today. What do we have in the bucket here?
So the first thing we have today is our Pinot Gris, and this is a classic Pinot Gris. It's really refreshing. You can see it has a little bit of a pink tinge to it, which is really unique to this Pinot Gris. Our winemaker Michael Barté decided to leave the skins on for just a little bit of time to give it a little bit of sexy appeal, which was exactly what's happened here. And the wine itself is luscious and crisp and goes well with seafood. It's a beautiful summer wine.
We've been sipping on this one already, as it turns out. But let's pretend like it's the first sip, shall we? And have a little.
So good.
It is delightful. It's really a nice. How long have these grapes? I know there's a certain amount of years that go into having to have those grapes established before you can start making the wine. Is it different from white grapes as opposed to red? How does that work?
You know what? I think that what ends up happening is the vineyard manager and the winemaker end up making that decision.
Sure.
I think they do, correct me if I'm wrong, but they do a little bit of experimentation. I know that some of these grapes were blended in previous years, and then now that they've fully developed, they've decided to make one varietal wines out of it.
Okay. I don't want to rush, but I want to get through all of these. We only have 2 minutes, so let's talk about the next one.
So this is our Chardonnay. We've been asked a lot for a Chardonnay. So it's a classic style Chardonnay, very lightly oaked, really refreshing and crisp, and I'll let you guys decide what you think of that.
And the biggest thing people say about Chardonnays, a lot of times people say they don't like Chardonnays because they think that they're going to be heavily oaked and
right. It doesn't have to be that way, does it?
Doesn't have to be that way, and I always encourage people to try a Chardonnay before you say you don't like Chardonnay.
It doesn't. It's lovely. It's got a slight oaky taste, but it's very light.
Lots of tropical fruit.
Yes. It's beautiful.
Very nice.
So he did something really unique with this Chardonnay. He actually blended the same grapes, but he kept one in steel tanks and one in American oak. So once he saw the depth of the American oak, he blended in the steel tank. So it's a really unique winemaking process, and it's come up with a beautiful Chardonnay because of it.
Fantastic. And what's next on there?
So next is Riesling. Riesling grows incredibly well in Kamloops. Kamloops has the heat for Riesling. It's a really unique varietal. And this year, Harper's Trail is doing 3 different Riesling and blending the Rieslings with some of their other grapes. So this is our new Silver Maine Riesling. It's a very aromatic Riesling, very refreshing. This one's a little lower in alcohol, which allows you to enjoy more of it, I think. So.
Perfect patio wine.
Rieslings are one of my favorites for summer because they're light, they're crisp, they have a nice zing to them sometimes.
Great with food, fantastic with food.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So we have 2. We have our dry Riesling, and which is called Pioneer Block, and a Silver Maine Riesling, which is this one.
Oh, goodness. That is delightful.
Isn't that delicious?
Fruity and zingy, but not too sweet. Oh, yes, this is good.
Perfect patio wine.
Riesling. Delightful. You may just look at the last one to tasting it because we're almost out of time, but tell us about it.
This is our late harvest Riesling. So just the grapes stay on the vine a little while longer to allow for that fruit concentration to go up, and it's just turned into a really wonderful late harvest wine. Dessert. This is dessert in a bottle.
I love dessert wines as well. I think I have a penchant for sweet wine, but it's just so lovely to have you on, and it's such a local success story. So we're really thrilled that you could be here today to give us a little tasting. Of course, you can either go out to the winery, but also Sahali Liquor Store. I'm sure you're
carrying
stocked.
all of them, yeah. They asked me, which ones do you want to bring in? I said, all of them, of course.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You guys, thank you so much for being here today. Really
for having
appreciate it. Harper's Trail, some beautiful wines that you have to try out for this summer season. They're fantastic. We're back in 2 minutes. Stay with us.